What's going on, everyone? Nick from Comic Culture here. It's time for Nick at Night, my weekly comic book review show. Let's check out the books I read this week. We're going to start over in DC. I picked up a couple new books, and I wanted to just try to see what's going on inside of them. One of those books was Green Arrow issue number 21. It came recommended to me, so I'm a little bit lost as far as like where we are, why we're here, and the different elements inside of this book. But the very beginning of this is really kind of touching and telling, really. We have this governmental agency, or we have these different people representing the state or the government that are in this town hall setting, and we have all these citizens that are pouring their hearts out, trying to get some aid, some help, because their land is being poisoned, and they're trying to figure out like who's responsible for all that. Oliver might be responsible, who knows? He has some memory issues or something like that. Not exactly sure what's going on there, but we have a really cool like little agency around that as well. Apparently there's some villains and whatnot. So what I like about this book so far is I love the art, I love the trueness of the dialogue, and I like all the tension that the people have towards like the government in here. So that's really interesting. I can't wait to see what's going on further inside this issue. As I read more, I'm going to learn more, but I had a really good time with Green Arrow issue number 21. Thanks to your guys' recommendations. I picked it up, checked it out. Let me know if you're reading it. Same thing goes with Superman issue number 23. Jumped inside of here. Joshua Williamson, Mora on the art. Crazy creative team on here. So why wouldn't I be reading this book? I guess is the real question here. But I'm dipping in here, seeing what's going on. Lois still has the Superman kind of powers, so she's holding her own right now. There's all this chaos going on. A lot of timey-wimey stuff happening here. Doomsday's in the issue, of course. We have a lot of cool things that are building up and kind of resolving inside this issue. Lex Luthor has a clutch play in here as well. A lot of the different superheroes teaming up together to take on this threat. What I'm more interested in is where the story is going to go. We ended on a real interesting cliffhanger. Again, some like end of time kind of stuff happening in here. So I'm glad I'm jumping in now because it feels like a good place to jump in. And we're going to be starting a new arc here very soon. It feels like anyway. I don't really need to tell you that Joshua Williamson and Dan Mora is a great creative team on properties like this. That kind of goes without being said, but I'm interested in seeing where this story goes for sure. I'm glad I'm jumping in now. Issue number 23 is out. Let me know if you read that one. Justice League Unlimited issue number 4 is out. This is a must-read if you want that foundational book in the All-In universe. Glad I'm reading this one right here. We have a really cool villain that we're exploring. We don't know everything about them at the moment, but they're causing all this chaos and destruction throughout the world. There's these monsters that are being unleashed. Right now, the whole Amazon rainforest is on fire, and it is all hands on deck to take care of this threat. The Green is in trouble right now as well. It's basically being snuffed out. There's a magical element in here, so all of our magic heroes users are teaming up right now to try to keep that at bay, while all of our more like, I don't know, flight and super strong heroes are going around trying to save the day and prevent casualties in the area, all while we're trying to get back in touch with the Green, boost it with a bunch of power, and try to, help our allies win the day. Kind of like Superman, we have another great creative team on here. We have Wade, Mora, and Bon Villain. I don't need to say much more about them. Whatever they do is incredible, so we're blessed to have them on this one. If you're a fan of the ins and outs and the microcosm of the Green itself, I think you're going to really enjoy this one. We have Levi making an appearance in here as well. He's on the verge of destruction right now. We're trying to get him energized. That's exactly what we do inside of here. And we also touch base with Martian Manhunter and Batman. There's a cool thing happening right there in that relationship, just kind of bringing the family back together, which is what this book is all about. Justice League Unlimited brings some things to a close and introduces new threats as well. Let me know if you're reading this one. Detective Comics 1094 is out. Tom Taylor on this one. A little bit hesitant to get into this run. I've enjoyed it so far. This was by far my favorite issue since Tom Taylor has taken over. And it's a pretty simple premise right here. We have somebody that's targeting all these children inside of Gotham. So Bruce and Damian are trying to do whatever they can do to protect those kids. Going as far as putting Damian in prison right now to kind of keep an eye on things because he doesn't really trust the system either. And he wants to put Damian in there to kind of help him out, get some more information, see what's really going on, report back. And that whole scene of getting him in there and what he does when he's in there, and some of the moments inside that book where he kind of steps up and kind of protects the little guy as he probably would in that situation, really loved all that father-son dynamic inside there. The art's really solid too. So this issue is delivering everything I want from this book. Great father-son detective relationship, Damian stepping up, going undercover, and incredible artwork on top of it. Detective Comics 1094, let me know if you read it. Continuing over in DC, we have Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 5, Kelly Thompson on this one, Hayden Sherman, and of course we have Jordi Belair as well. This one is really awesome. Whenever they focus on Cersei and like the rationale as to why she does the things that she does, she was on a certain path. Diana was entered into her life and like thrown at her, but now everything has been thrown off. She sees the future a little bit. She understands what kind of struggles Diana's going to have in the future, and she builds her like the ultimate weapon to take on those threats right there. So there's a great moment in here where Cersei's developing that weapon and Diana takes it on, and she's trying to understand the rationale and like the true motivation behind Cersei's decision to do that. On top of this more present day kaiju monster fight, we had a great sick blow in the previous issue. The monster's not down and out. She has to actually use that lasso of sacrifice to really kind of finish the job in a very creative way. I don't want to spoil what happens with Diana in here, but she has to transform and overcome this giant kaiju threat, and she needs some of her allies, some of the friends that she's made on Earth around her, to transform back into the person that she really is. So really great moments inside of there, and a great little cliffhanger at the end too, a little surprise moment. Really enjoyed that. I can't wait to read more Absolute Wonder Woman. It's my favorite Absolute book out right now. Let me know if you're reading this one. All right, let's go over to Marvel next with Hell Hunters issue number 3. Philip Kennedy Johnson on this one. This book is just absolutely stupid fun. We're going back to World War II. Nazis are being taken over by some demonic presence that's just eating them up like vampires, taking control of their bodies, spreading and growing their ranks. We have Nick Fury, we have Strange, we have Agent Carter, we have Captain America, we have Bucky being introduced inside of this one, Wolverine as well. A great little ensemble right there taking on this demonic threat, and it is awesome. Really gory too, so it's cool to see that team kicking it up a notch right there, but the shining star of this entire issue was Bucky himself. The writing on that was hilarious. I loved the introduction to the character. He's a small child in here, but he's like bumming cigarettes and talking about killing people and everything. It was awesome. I had such a good time reading that one. Hell Hunters, again, it's stupid fun, guys. Check this one out if you haven't yet. This one actually surprised me this week. From Benjamin Percy, we have the Red Hulk issue number 1. Never thought I would be digging a Red Hulk book, but this one was actually pretty fun. Of course, we have General Ross. He's locked up right now in his top secret base. Doom has put him there, and he has all of his bots like giving him meals and things like that. He's basically losing his mind and losing his like discipline that he's gotten over the years as general. He's being power dampened as well, so he can't just Hulk out and escape, but he's also locked up with a bunch of other villains as well. Once he realizes that, they kind of come up with a plan secretly to escape, and that's basically what this is all about. Can I get this power dampener off? Can we ally? Can we team up and escape and try to get away from all these Doom bots like buried inside this mountain? So this book is all about learning patterns of the Doom bots. When do they feed us? How long do they take to get there? And things like that. Using that to their advantage, crawling around, doing some sneaky stuff, and ultimately hulking out whenever possible to do this escape right here. But yeah, this book totally surprised me. Great interior artwork too. Red Hulk issue number 1. Let me know if you read this one. Hickman and Kaketto and Wilson over there on Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 14. We're in the Savage Land right now. We're being hunted down by Kraven. Harry doesn't have his suit, but Peter is still well equipped to take on most of the threats in here, but Harry's kind of a liability in this situation. Kraven going absolutely apeshit inside this one, using all of his resources to take these guys out. He gave him a little bit of a head start in the Savage Land, so they're having to deal with like dinosaurs and everything else, right? Well, now Kraven's caught up to them, so they're actually in the middle of this battle right here. The best part about this book, though, I think, is not only the nonstop action and the amazing art and color in here. I mean, Jesus, look at this stuff right here. But it's also the writing style and how desperate that Kraven has made our heroes right here. Peter being pushed to the brink was a really cool thing in here. We've seen it a million times with Spider-Man himself. Like, will he go far enough to finally take out this villain? Doesn't exactly do that in here. And there's also a really great moment at the end with Mary Jane once they kind of make their escape, and he has a real down-to-earth, real-life conversation with her, and they are scared to death as to what's going to happen next. We see a few other villains in here like Mysterio and Mole Man and whatnot, and they're used in a really intriguing way. So I'm just having such a good time with Ultimate Spider-Man. Issue number 14 is out. It's getting real desperate, and I can't wait to see where the story goes from here. Let me know if you're reading it. That's it for the big 2. Let's go over to superhero comics. We have Punk Slim and Mop Top Bop issue number 2 from Monty Keene and Jonathan Marks. Baravecchia is back on the interiors in here. Now, if you've been watching my channel for some time, you know that superhero comics is stuff that I pick up constantly. This book actually came out this week. It was delivered, so I threw it into the books for this week, and I am so glad that I did. So Punk Slim and Mop Top Bop is an interesting duo. They're basically like these galactic or cosmic trash collectors in a way. Things get dumped on their planet. They got to sort some stuff out. And this issue here is actually the way that we're going to get these characters into our main superhero universe. It's going to be so cool to see all this pieced together and what kind of a world he's going to be building. I'll show you some of the interior artwork because Jonathan Marks is absolutely incredible at what he does. There's these dream states in here that are really, really striking, and I just love the sketchiness of his artwork. You might recognize him from Bear, Pirate, Viking, Queen most recently, but he was also on the first issue of this series right here. Really bright, colorful palettes, and I just love the sketchiness of these characters. I mean, they're punks, man. They got to be pretty gnarly, and they're doing such a good job writing this one right here. So check out Superhero Comics if you haven't yet. You can check out issue number 2. It's out in order right now, and you can pick up number 1 still on his website. Let's go over to Image next. We have Hornsby and Halo issue number 4. This is the YA title in the Ghost Machine universe, so if you have younger kids, some teenage kids or whatnot, you can point them in this direction. I think they're going to have a great time with this. With that said, adults are going to love it too. Basically, we have angels, we have demons, we have these kids that are going through adolescence right now, manifesting their powers for the first time, and they're having to deal with all that. They found each other in the same town, and now there's this weird connection between them that they're trying to sort out. In this issue, they're trying to undo some of the mistakes that their families have made and that they have made personally as well. There's like these zombified people that are hunting them down for these artifacts. They rectify all that, but this issue is really about having those powers manifest and trying to figure out what to do with that, and maybe introducing some other characters in this universe that know all about this and their relationship, and they're waiting for this prophecy to kind of unfold. That's what we got inside of issue number 4. Like I said, it's kind of YA leaning, both in the art, the theme of the story, and the language being used in here, but it's still a good time. Highly recommend it, especially if you like the Ghost Machine stuff. Jump in, man. Take a look at this one. Let me know if you're reading it. Rick Remender and Paul Azaceta with Mateus Lopes on The Seasons issue number 2. Really unusual issue number 1. I really dug it. It was extra size. It was a cool way of introducing us to some of the characters and the situation that they're in, as well as maybe the villain and the mysteriousness of them. This is a really cool issue because it actually explores a little bit more about the other seasons. We touch base with each of them inside of here. We get to see what kind of personalities they have. Some you're going to kind of align with, and some you're going to think are kind of pains in the asses, but it is interesting to kind of get that cast of characters figured out in here. We still have our mysterious villain, this mysterious parade that's coming through with this really weird looking clown guy, and so we're going to be figuring that character out going further, but we do know that that's kind of our main threat. We just don't know exactly what their like abilities are or how they take over these towns and whatnot. So still a lot of mystery inside of here. If you like Paul Azaceta's work, I think you're going to really enjoy this one. The coloring is on point as well. Again, lots of mystery in here. We just got introduced to a few more characters. We're setting the stage for this series still. Issue number 2 is out. Let me know if you read it. Let's go over to IDW with Jason Aaron and Juan Ferreira on TMNT issue number 7. I did not like issue 1 through 5. They had their moments inside of them. Issue 6 really brought everything together. Issue 7 is even better than that. So if you stayed away, if you fell off somewhere in the first 5 issues, jump into issue number 6 and 7, and maybe while you're waiting for issue 8, go back and read the other ones that you may have missed. But this is a spectacular book, and I can't wait to see what Jason Aaron and team are going to be doing with it in this next arc coming up. So this is continuing off of the previous issue where our team is back together. They're trying to understand what they're going to do next. We have Donatello here trying to hold it all together with his imaginary, or maybe not so imaginary, splinter on his shoulder. Nobody else really recognizes him because essentially it's a dead rat and it's kind of weird, but there might be more to that we're going to explore in here. They all have to go out and kind of do their own thing. This is what the Turtles do, right? They get together, they argue, they split up, they get their asses kicked, they come back together, and they're a family yet again. What's really cool about this book, though, is the interior artwork has so many great, unique perspectives and amazing coloring inside here. You get angles and shots that you just do not see in comics nowadays, man. He's putting in extra work and doing some extraordinary stuff inside here to make it really pop, and I think it is working so well in here. In this one, we see April O'Neil as well, and maybe she's going to be joining the team here very shortly. That's going to be a really cool thing, but I'm telling you guys, don't sleep on TMNT now, especially if you dropped out in the first few issues, if it didn't quite gel with you. Number 6 and number 7 were a lot better. Let me know if you guys are reading it down below. We're going to wrap it up over at Mad Cave with Pop Kill issue number 1 with that crazy awesome variant cover right there. We have Jimmy Palmiotti on this one with Dave Johnson. We have Juan Santa Cruz on here as well. I guess it's a continuation or a reboot or whatever it might be from the, I guess there's another Pop Kill book. I did not read that one in here, but this one's really funny because we have 2 warring family members essentially that are in 2 different kind of Coke companies. Think Pepsi, think Coca-Cola, something like that, but they're brothers or whatever it is. And they're doing anything they can do to destroy the other one and and things get violent very, very quickly. Like, they take this stuff very, very seriously. One of them's hiring like this agent to take out all these different people, and that's exactly what he does. So he's basically stalking his next victim right now, and she holds kind of the key to the everlasting gobstopper formula, the formula that never lets your soda be uncarbonated, right? It keeps that carbonation going, which increases the shelf life. It would destroy the other company. And so this agent's there to take her out, but, you know, maybe there's some room for some play as well in there. There's some sensitive moments in here, so I got to be careful what I show you. Interior artwork is fine, but the story is really funny, though. The agent has a lot of humor to him. He's been there, done that kind of a thing. He's definitely a playboy at the same time, and it's just kind of fun to read this book. So Popkill issue number 1, stupid fun again, lots of over-the-top moments. Had a decent time with this one. Popkill number 1, let me know if you read it. All right, guys, that's everything I read this week. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you read down below and what your favorite books of the week were. While you're down there, like, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification to be alerted whenever I put out new videos. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the comments.